Let's now learn how to apply a filter in our workflows. Filters are useful if we want to segregate or control the data flowing through our workflows. And it doesn't have to be data, it can be anything. We can check for the types of objects passing through our workflow. We can check if they are empty or not. We can check if they're an array of data. I think the best way to demonstrate it is just with a simple example. So here we have an existing workflow, and what it does is create an array of 9 values, counting all the way from 1 through to 9. It splits those out so that we can just process one at a time, and then loops through and over them in a batch of 1. Really simple. So what we're going to do is add our filter node to the just after the loop. We're going to execute so that we can grab the data that we want to do our comparison on, and we put that here in the value. So here we have an array of functions that allow us to test or examine the data, what the value is, what the type is, what have you, so that we can determine if we want this data to proceed to the next step or not. Now it's been able to determine this is a number, and what we can do is simply say this number needs to be greater than the number 3. What that means for our array is that the first 3 numbers, 1, 2, 3, are going to be discarded and won't continue on in the workflow, and the remainders will all continue and be kept. So here you can see there's 2 exits. There's a kept and then there's a discarded. What I'm going to do for the sake of this loop is say that it always outputs data. And what that means is that even if the item is discarded, it will still output something from this node. And that keeps the loop being able to continue. So now we're set up quite simply to have any number that's greater than 3 is going to be kept, any number less than 3 or equal to 3 is going to be discarded. Let's quickly complete this loop. And so out of the filter back into our loop, and we can execute our workflow. And it's gone through the filter 9 times. Let's now have a look at run 1 of 9. And we would have seen, so the input will be the value 1. It passes through our criteria check. Is the number greater than 3? No, it's not. So it hasn't kept that value. It's output very basic JSON without any data in it. And if we have a look at discarded, we can see that value 1 has been discarded. Now, if we go through to the 4th run, then the value is 4. And over here, the 4th run, discarded, there's nothing discarded, but kept, it's kept the value 4. So now we have been able to segregate our data. Anything above the value 3, we're going to proceed and carry that value through to the rest of our workflow. But for the remainders, we're going to discard it. So this is a really, really simple filter, and it's being able to help us process our data correctly. If you found this helpful, please like and subscribe.